Don, you mentioned several times throughout the year that this team's young and they don't play like they practice back-to-back perfect seasons. Has that sunk in? Just what's your opinion from the head chair about how they did this?
I don't really know. I don't really know, but they find they're a super competitive group that they don't really like losing, and they can play a lot of different styles of play, especially offensively. Defensively, I think we do a pretty good job at just holding serve and playing the way we need to play and being disciplined and staying connected out there on the floor. But I am super proud of them, like super proud. I think every, if you compare the undefeated season from last year to this year, it's so much different. Yet we end up in the same place, and doesn't make me any more or less proud. I'm just super proud of this young group.
That's kind of what I wanted to ask you about, Coach. Different circumstances completely this year from last year, but still the same end result. You've talked about it a little bit, but how are the vibes different in the locker room and in the coaches' room in particular, I guess, this year heading into the postseason, kind of in the same spot?
So I would probably equate it to a doctorate program, and they're going to get me for saying this, and daycare. Like, our locker room sounds like daycare. Like, it's so much talking, it's so much talking about nothing that, and we, in the beginning of the season, we would just say, be quiet, and now it's just who they are. It really is just who they are, and it's their identity, and we really don't fight that battle. We just put our earplugs in and keep it moving.
You busted, I know some of it was the foul trouble, but you busted out the 4-guard lineup. Pal said even she was surprised about that. Did you like what you saw there? Is that a weapon for the postseason? What did you see during that segment of the game? And also, what was your reaction to Breezy's block there right at the end of the half?
I liked it. We've been playing with it for a little bit. Right before we knew that Camilla was going to be away with her Brazilian team. Didn't feel real good about it. But I thought there was some familiarity to it because we've been trying to do it. It helped us stay matched up the way we needed to match up because we needed Breezy on Rakia. Rakia pretty much had her way with accumulating fouls on us. And then, Breezy's block. Breezy's a really good defender. I know she has added some offense to her game, but when it's all said and done, Breezy can lock down and defend. And I thought she got made a pretty good defensive play on her. Rakia got her back. I think Rakia got a few of our players back, but we needed that momentum going into halftime.
Dawn, it must have been emotional for Camilla to play in front of her family. Had she really not seen them in 8 years? And how did this all come about?
No, she's been home.
Oh, okay.
She's gone back to Brazil a number of times, but they've never been able to come here. And to play in front of your family, in front of all of us. I know she wanted to win extremely bad and wanted to play well all at the same time, and I thought she did that. I know she fouled out, but she gave us what she gave us, and we don't win the game without her contributions. But it was so very cool to have her, her mom and her sister, and with the help of, I got to give Congressman Clyburn, a huge shout out. And, we had some administrators on our campus really get involved to make sure that it happened, because a few weeks before they got clearance to come, they were denied after having gone 10 to 12 hours on the bus. And then they get there and they're denied in 2 minutes. It's no. So that's when we just had to activate our community, and our community has, rallied around it and made it happen.
Sticking with the theme, but the senior class as a whole, 3 players who came to you, not at the start of their careers, but at a certain point, just what have they meant to this place and to you?
I mean, anytime you can get some quality individuals, like they're quality, and we know that they could play basketball, but the chemistry they provide, like they've raised the standard for us in the locker room and how we play and how we navigate through the season, each in their own way. You know, Sakima's probably the more motherly of the group. Powell is like the quiet assassin of the group. And then Camilla could be a little harsh, but she can also be a little soft. So they got a great balance of our seniors and how they approach things, and they fit in quite well, and they've obviously contributed to another successful season. You know, none that we anticipated. I didn't anticipate us being undefeated throughout this entire season, but they've had a way to stable our team when we've needed it, and found a way to win and found a way to lead throughout it.
Coach had a unique starting lineup for today. What does this team and their depth do in terms of being able to deploy a bunch of different types of lineups for different games, whether it be starting or being able to, go to that four-guard lineup late in the game, do for you guys, especially now that we've, approached bracket season?
I mean, what this team has done is create some really good habits, some really good playing habits that everybody feels comfortable wherever they enter the game. And everybody's feel comfortable, not too comfortable, having to sit on the bench and wait their turn. I think we've done a really good job with communicating with them what it is, what it isn't, and they themselves can take in the information in a way that it's not dampening their confidence. So I feel very confident that any one of our players can start, any one of them. And, you can probably argue Sakima, but I'd feel comfortable putting Sakima in the game for whatever she gives us. I mean, it's unfortunate that, we have 5 post players that rotate pretty good, and she's probably the one that doesn't get as much as she deserves, and it's only because of the crowdedness of our front court. But I feel very confident when we put her in the basketball game.
Very few teams have been able to play you this close this season. I believe this is the closest margin of victory at home for you guys this year. Just what sticks out about the way Tennessee has played against you guys that has allowed them to make these really tough wins for you guys?
Yeah, Tennessee is starting to play their best basketball. I think they are doing a great job of putting that ball in Rakia's hands and let her play make, and she is delivering. And then, she gets help from other players. Tennessee's always going to rebound the basketball. Tennessee's always going to be able to defend. And Tennessee is finding their groove offensively. And it wasn't a cakewalk for sure. I didn't think it was going to be a cakewalk. I thought it was going to be a tough game, just like it was. And it came down to a few possessions here and there. They made a good run at us. And got it down. It was a 2-possession game, 3-possession game. So I think they're in a great spot to make a run in the NCAA tournament.
Don, what was the reason behind the revamped starting lineup?
I wouldn't say it's a team rule, but it's very minimal. But our standard is our standard.
Don, you talked about how this team, you had to quit fighting at certain points because they're going to be who they are. Have you seen enough from them now to say, okay, it's postseason, and they're going to be able to do what they've done during the regular season, or do they still have a couple of things to prove to you?
Yeah, I don't feel like we're locked to win every basketball game. Because we're every game that we enter into with this team, it's the same question mark that hangs over, like who are they going to be? And yes, you win. I don't know. What is it? 28 games. 29 games. When you win 29 games, you think those are the habits you create, but they're still a very young group, and postseason is a lot different than it is regular season. So I'm anxious to see how they operate in the SEC tournament space.
I have a buddy doing a story in North Dakota about one of your former student managers, and you got to recognize a group of them today as seniors leaving. I'm just wondering what those young men mean to this program, how valuable they are, because they're going out then from here. And we've got one in University of North Dakota who's now the director of operations there and has been working his way through the women's basketball ranks himself.
I mean, it is, when we say that the success of our program is from, every single person that's a part of it, we really, really mean it. From our managers, from our practice players, to our assistant coaches and everybody in between. You got a job to do, and you got to do it well. And if you don't, you're gonna hear about it from somebody. They really, probably not me, but you're gonna hear it from somebody. And I do think the fact that they're under that kind of pressure, so no matter what contributions they've given and what titles or whatever positions they have in our program, I know they're going to be successful because of the pressure that we apply for them to do their jobs and do it well. And then it gets to a point where they know what they need to do, and it's nothing more than just doing it and we're not micromanaging, but we know when something's off, we address it and we move on. It's not like we let it linger. We had 2 starters that didn't start today. I said my piece and we move on. I'm not holding any grudges. I'm not saying anything besides do your job when you get in the game. Thank you.